Hello. Um, Welcome to episode 4 of my Project 90 series. Um, I am creating it as I go along. I'm hoping that at the end of this 90 days that I'm able to look back and see how, obviously for my own personal journey, I'll be able to track all my wins and how it helped me. But also, I want to look at it and see how I may help others, because that is what truly feeds me, um, and brings me such joy. So let's jump into it. So here's episode 4, and wow, I think a little over 3+ weeks of being in this um, intentional experiment for myself, where I am setting up, daily goals and things that I want to do nutritionally, things I want to accomplish in the day, ways that I want to be in the world. I have a whole list, and it's been really interesting. There's certainly times when my tracking has been meticulous and I was on it every single day. I wanted to make sure I hit everything. And I certainly have had many days where I have hit every single thing and it feels amazing. It feels like I'm so accomplished. And then there have been many days where it's been challenging. Excuse me. And then there have been many days where it has been challenging. I think I did it on purpose. I knew I had a big family wedding in the middle of this. I know that I'm going to go to one of my favorite travel destinations in a couple weeks, and it's on purpose. And that's why I think I chose 90 days, because it's life. You're more apt to something that you're going to do for 2 weeks or for 30 days. You might be able to white knuckle it or get through it, but then snap back to the way you have always done things. So I really want to bring about some changes in my life, and I really want to create new habits. So, as I'm doing this and as I'm really seeing what's working and what's challenging me, and okay, I might sort of go off the rails a little bit, but how quick do I get back to center? And how do I give myself grace around that? And sometimes I'm like, no, actually, you need to do this. This is what you said you were going to do, and you need to do it. So having that balance. Um, but this first trimester, I guess, of this experience. I feel like I've experienced all of it, the highs, the lows, the everything in between of doing something and being able to stay with it and then not. Um, but I feel like I've done really well. Like I look back and I took some notes here. I'm just sort of looking, and it's like right now I feel very calm. I feel reflective. I feel at ease. Physically, I feel strong. This is really very much about pickleball for me, and on the court, and in my attempt after the first week, realizing that wow, I wasn't really giving myself proper nutrition while I was playing. I've really shifted that, and I've shown up in a way for myself that I haven't in this whole year of playing, and maybe than I ever have, with this kind of intention when I'm when I'm exerting so much energy and effort, and working really hard, and I feel really good. I feel strong. I feel like all of the things that the supplements and everything I'm taking that I've been regimented with, and drinking this much water, I feel like wow, it's happening. I look at this first trimester and I'm like, I've improved. I really have. I have improved my game. I don't know what the measure or the mark is. I'm also using this awesome app, PB Vision, that is tracking my games. And so I'm about to record a couple of more so that I can sort of see my journey through this and how my percentages are changing. Um, but I know that I've changed, and I'm getting awesome feedback from people who, play with me every once in a while, and people are just watching. I'm just getting a lot of feedback that, hey, you're improving, which feels amazing. It feels um, like what I'm doing is making a difference. And I really attribute it to this Project 90. I really attribute it to stopping and having intention around, okay, I want this thing, and how do I get it? With where I am, with what I have, how do I make that happen? And so um, these little micro changes and micro adjustments are making the difference, and it feels really good. Um, Also, something really cool happened the other day. I was I was going to my yoga class, and something came up, and I don't remember what it was. I feel like it was a phone call, but something came up, and it it took a few minutes, and it made me late for the class. But I was like, no, I'm still going to go to the gym, and I'm going to do a workout. So it changed my whole schedule, which put me in the weight room right in front of someone I haven't seen in a long time. And we had this amazing conversation. And I really feel like I was put right there, right in that moment, to encourage her, because she's just trying to start working out and she's feeling challenged. And it was like just this beautiful conversation, and it was effortless. And I was just sharing about what was up with me, and I could just see her light up and feel seen and heard, and she was so receptive. And so it's like that's just such a beautiful part of this, and as I share it more with people, like, hey, I'm doing this thing, it's called Project 90, and just it I'm noticing that people in my life are also like taking the opportunity to look at or address things in their life, and that's all I ever want is if I, in my effort to sort of take on me in my life, can help you take on in yours in your life. I nothing is better and nothing feels more amazing than, just being that support. So it just feels like such a huge win for me, and of just such gratitude for where I am right now. It's like, almost, I think I'm a couple of days away from 30. But it's Monday, and I wanted to get this out today. But it's like 27 days, something like that. And I feel like, yeah, I feel like I'm on to something, and it feels sustainable, and it feels like I am actually creating this to be lasting in my life. So I'm excited to really document this whole journey for me, because it's a reminder that no matter how far you sort of feel off the road, or how hard something seems to be, that there is always a path through. And I talked about it in my short today with resistance, just in stretching and being able to stay with it instead of pulling away, but just kind of moving through the stretch and the hold and getting to the other side of it. And it just feels like, wow, it just sort of is the metaphor for everything. So, um, as I think about what this sort of week 4 reflection is, I'm sorry, when I think about this episode 4 reflection is, it's it just feels calm, reflective. That's where I feel today. And I feel gratitude and like I'm excited. I'm excited to see, to break through this place where uh, I think that I've arrived, but break through this place where the process is that I'm moving through it, and that there's more to come, and that there's a greater place to get to, which is awesome. It feels so good, this striving, that, while at the same time there's peace and there's groundedness, there's this excitement to, like, what else can this body do? Um, how can I improve my game even more? So there's this like looking forward, but also this contentment with where I am. And so that feels really good. And yeah, so I'm just going to leave us with that thought for this episode 4, and I will see you for the next one. Have a beautiful day.